Okay. Tapos ako din nagkaproblema kasi yung external drive ko, yung mga lectures ay nagloko yung external drive. So I'm trying to reconstruct the previous topics and examples together with the activities. So yung maisi-share ko lang sa may classroom as our alternative platform ay yung topic 1 natin tsaka yung topic natin sa ngayon. Okay? So the other topics, okay, yung other topics natin uh, in the coming days na lang. Okay? Ayun. So again, as a review, we introduced database at normally yung consideration natin sa database, repository siya ng mga records ng isang organization. So lahat ng mga kailangan nilang information should be properly recorded and reflected in the database. So alongside with the creation of the database, meron tayo pang additional requirement na table naman. So yung table na yun ay subgroup ng isang database. So the subgroups or the tables will be identified, okay? And yung contents din niya should be identified by the database manager, yung tagagawa ng database, or in his absence, yung developer naman, yung gagawa ng database, tsaka ng tables. So, ang composition ng tables natin tsaka database natin ay normally nanggagaling sa mga forms at mga reports ng isang organization. Okay? So, by discipline, uh, binibigyan mo na yung binibigay mo na yung blank form, tapos i-observe ngayon ng database manager or ng designer or ng programmer paano na ko-comply yung contents ng form. So sino yung unang mag-fill out ng form, sino tatanggap, ano yung mga additional information na ilalagay doon, okay, from one person to another within the organization hanggang makomplete yung contents ng form na yun. So that particular task, okay, should be able to, or the database designer should be able to reflect that one in the design of the database and tables. Tapos kapag may na-generate na reports based on that particular form, ano naman yung magiging requirements out of that one. Okay, so alongside with the database, so hindi isang database lang, hindi isang table lang, but multiple databases and multiple tables will be created to answer, okay, or to respond to the need of the organization. Kapag gagawa na siya ng system, ibig sabihin nun, planchado na, pulido na yung design ng database. Okay? So each and every stakeholder, yung gagamit ng system, should be able to agree na yung mga requirements nila ay properly reflected na sa database bago paggawa ng application or computer program. Ngayon, sa paggawa naman ng system, computer system or computer program, may mga cases na ang requirements ay hindi na isama. Okay? Pwedeng nakaligtaan or pwede na through time nagkakaroon ng additional requirement. So doon papasok yung flexibility ng computer system or application na supposedly sana pwedeng i-allow si user na mag-issue ng SQL statement para lang niya ma-extract yung information na required. Kasi may mga cases na yung mga boss ay manghihingi ng reports pero hindi ka makapag-generate ng reports because hindi siya included sa earlier design ng system. Okay? Tapos pag humirit pa yung boss na naka-system na tayo, naka-computer na tayo, bakit hindi mo kaya magbigay ng report? Okay? So, yung magiging limitations ng system natin because hindi siya earlier naka-reflect dun sa requirements. So to answer that ad hoc requirement or yung mga immediate requirement na hindi kasama sa earlier design ng system, yung program should have a feature na i-allow dapat yung user na mag-extract ng information directly from the database. Pero meron siyang catch. Okay? Number one, hindi lahat ng users ay makakaalam ng iba't ibang databases, pati yung kanyang attributes or characteristics. Hindi dapat pinapaalam sa lahat yun. So at the beginning of the study, yung access ni user ay limited lang doon sa activities na kailangan niya. Okay? So hindi binibigay yung lahat ng information ng database sa bawat isang user. So limited lang dapat yung knowledge ng user doon sa existence ng mga databases as well as yung mga fields or columns na pwede niyang i-access. Okay, so on the part of the developers, okay, share screen muna tayo. On the part of the developers, mahirap magkaroon ng communication with the different stakeholders kapag hindi pareho yung language. Okay? What I mean of hindi magkapareho ng language is that hindi tayo nagsispeak ng the same terminologies. Saglit lang guys. Saglit lang guys ha. Saglit lang. Yes, miss. Good afternoon. Kanino ba siya previously?
Ay, kasi nga, nakalimutan ko na po eh. Pero chinat niyo po sa akin yung check ko po sila.
Yes po. Tapos pa-message na lang po sa main GC natin, miss.
Puros po.
Opo. Pa-message na lang po. Tapos,
Apo.
tawag nun, in case na malate man siya ng bigay, pwede pa naman siyang i-edit by Monday. Opo. Tapos, pwede nyo po muna siyang i-tawag nun. Hindi nga lang siya pwedeng i-blank. Pwede nyo muna siyang i-INC for the meantime. Tapos, tsaka nyo lang i-update by Monday.
Paano ko po lalagyan ng INC, sir? Parang mapit po kasi magkakaroon ng grade eh.
Sa ano po doon po sa encoding na part, doon sa remarks po na column.
Meron. Sige
Yes po. Pwede po.
Na lang po doon.
Yes po.
Remarks. Sige, sir. Saan yung remarks?
Sa right side po. Yes po.
Sir.
Sige po.
Thank you po.
Sige po. Okay, to continue. Pasensya na, meron tayong intermission number. Okay. So, when we present the ERD to different stakeholders, okay? So, dito po ako sa may number 2. Ayan. So, number 2. Okay? So, we have to make sure that sabi nga palagi ng saying na we should see to it that we are on the same page. Ibig sabihin nun, nagkakaintindihan tayo ng concept, ng idea. Okay? Kung ano yung ibig kong sabihin, supposedly, nagigets mo siya as intended. Okay? Kasi most of the time, ang language na ginagamit natin may have different meaning or perspective with other individuals, especially kapag hindi tayo pareho ng discipline. Halimbawa, ang usapan ni accounting tsaka usapan ni IT ay magkakaiba, okay? Kasi magkaiba sila ng discipline. Ayun. So, normally nagkakaroon ng tawag nun, confusion. Yun. So, through the presentation of the diagram, okay? So, doon natin mako-convey yung message as to what we are trying to do and what we are trying to accomplish. Ayun. So, in the design of the database, pati na rin yung computer applications or systems na tinatawag, there are different forms of diagrams. Meron tayong fishbone diagram, siguro particular naman kayo doon. Meron tayong Gantt chart, okay? Meron tayong context diagram, meron tayong data flow diagram, meron tayong swim lane diagram, meron tayong entity relationship diagram. So at the start, at the beginning of the design of the system, yung database muna yung pinuput up. Okay? The database. Ano ba yung mga data na i-collect natin? How do we construct this, the tables and the databases para mag-group natin yung mga requirements according to the needs of the organization. Okay. So ngayon, when we create our ERD, okay, can be of different perspective. So pwede siyang persons, pwede siyang objects, or pwede siyang concepts. Okay? So let us have an example of this one. Saglit lang guys. Okay. So example tayo ng entities natin. Okay. Okay. For example, we have our student database. Okay. So inside the student database, we can have multiple tables for grouping of the same requirements. So for example, we may have a table about the personal details of the student. For example, the enrolled subjects of the student, the payments made by the students, and say the library record of a student. Okay, so this is the people or the person's entity. Okay, similarly, we can have, for example, the employee database. Yan. So sa employee database, meron din siyang personal details. Pero wala na siyang enrolled subject, of course. Okay? For example, yung employee natin ay merong certificates and seminars. Okay? Followed by, say, educational attainment. Since, halimbawa, ini-encourage ng institution na mag-aral sila for promotions. Okay? And say, from time to time, they are required to say submit accomplishment reports. There we go. So each database ay iba-iba yung kanilang concerns. Tapos each table, iba-iba rin yung groupings ng kanilang mga requirements. So these are the people entities. Aside from the people, meron daw tayong objects. Ayan, objects tsaka concepts. So sa objects natin, consider natin for example, meron tayong equipment database. Okay? So hindi na ito tao, bagay na ito. 'Di ba? Parang tawag nun, Pinoy henyo lang. So under the equipment database, we may have a recording of the tables and chairs. Okay? So say this they share the same set of attributes. So we may have a separate recording with regard to computers, and say even the electronic devices, okay, that the institution maintain. So marami pa to. Okay? So iba't iba yung magiging groupings natin with regard to the equipment. And with regard to the concept, so say we have the enrollment database. So under the enrollment database, which is a process, okay, a concept, so we can have the, say, syllabus. Okay, these are the syllabus coming from the different programs. And say we have the, ano pa ba, offered subjects. Okay, or sections. Ayan. Sections being offered. Okay, so we have the persons, we have the objects, and we have the concept database. Okay, so ito yung magiging entities natin. Yan. So when we design our database, okay, so the designer, okay, together with the different stakeholders, should be able to identify what data is stored and how they will be stored. Ayan. So ito na yung kaninang sinabi ko na kapag binigyan ka ng blank form, you have to follow the blank form. Sino muna unang magfi-fill out nun, kanino siya ibibigay, ano yung mga annotations or additional inputs dun sa form, tapos susundan mo kung kanino na naman ipapasa yung form hanggang totally ma-complete yung process. Okay? So we are always after for the successful implementation of that activity. So pag may mga problems man, kasama yun sa magiging tawag nun, notes ng developers natin para malaman nila what are the different uh, instances na magkakaroon ng failure or something like madidelay yung process ng forms na yun. Okay? So when we have our personal details, so we further define ano ba yung composition ng personal details na table natin. So say meron tayong name, okay? Meron tayong mobile number, okay? Ito na yung actual data na ipapasok doon sa table natin, okay? So say meron siyang address at meron siyang, for example, student number. So in effect, yung student natin may likewise have the same personal details as the employee. Okay? May name din, may mobile number, may address din, pero wala naman siyang student number. This time, it will not be an employee number. Okay? So with this one, through the establishment of the different entities together with the properties, dito tayo ngayon makikipag-usap sa different individuals na involved sa operation. Okay? So, para malaman nila kung nare-reflect ba natin fully yung requirements ng bawat isa sa kanila. Okay? At the same time, what are the different constraints or limitations na imposed doon? So, halimbawa, sa birth date, okay? So, dapat yung birth date kapag student ka, ang minimum na age dapat ng halimbawa sa college ay tama ba? 18? Okay? 18 or 17? Parang ganun, bago ka makapasok ng college. So, hindi ka pwedeng mag-input ng birth date using the year ngayon. Okay? Halimbawa, nilagay mo doon 11/20/2025. So, parang ngayon pa lang pinanganak, pwede na siyang pumasok sa OU. Okay? So there are constraints or limitations that should be properly defined. So lahat ng nilagay natin dito, okay, i-identify ano ba yung mga limitations na po pwede. Okay? Po pwedeng i-impose. There we go. So based on the defined entities na meron tayo, okay, it will give clarity to every participants yung gagamit ng system natin as well as yung mga possible problems na pwedeng lumabas during the implementation or in the future. Okay? So, halimbawa, merong value na sumobra. Okay? Paano siya ngayon? So, the design itself will give the database designer or the developer a perspective na dito pala sa part na to nagkaroon ng problem. Okay? So, dapat meron tayong proper documentation about that one. Or, in the future, magkakaroon ng changes sa mga requirements. So, saan tayo mag-a-update ng changes? So, it should be made clear by the design of the ERD. Okay? So, when we design our ERD, meron tayong considerations about entity. Okay? So, ito na yung person, yung object, or yung concept na yun. Okay? So, mamaya, we will examine this one. Never mind first the rectangle. Ayun. Attributes on the other hand are the properties kagaya ng name, ng mobile number, ng address na nire-record natin dun sa entity requirement natin. Again, never mind the ovals. We will discuss what are these all about afterwards. Okay. Tapos, yung attributes natin can be further defined as it is simple, composite, derived, or multi-valued. Ayan. So, how do we distinguish one from the other? Ayan. So, when we say simple, ibig sabihin nun, hindi na siya pwedeng ihatiin, okay, or i-subdivide. Okay, for example, our mobile number can be regarded as a simple attribute. Okay, so say sex can be a simple attribute likewise. So sex may be given the value male or female. Ayan. So yun yung magiging possible na laman ng sex na attribute natin. Or pwede tayong mag-perform ng data abstraction. Pag sinabi mong abstraction, you are presenting a different value, okay, na hindi mo gustong ipaalam dun sa users ng system mo. For example, instead of male or female, you may represent that one as M or F. Okay? Or even perhaps 1 or 2. Okay? So, you perform now data abstraction. So, simple attribute with data abstraction, you are presenting a different perspective of the required entry for the attribute sex. Again, pag simple attribute, hindi na pwedeng i-slice or i-splice yung value. Okay, the next one is a composite attribute. So yung name natin will be a composite attribute. Ibig sabihin nun, pwede pa siyang hatiin. Okay? So as you can notice sa mga forms, naglalagay sila doon ng first name, ng middle name, okay, ng last name, even yung suffix. Okay? Yung mga junior, senior, the second, the third, parang ganun. So, in a good form, nakahiwala yung first name, middle name, last name, pati yung suffix. Okay? Para hindi magkaroon ng confusion kapag pinrocess na yung requirement ng name. Okay? In the same manner, address is also a composite attribute. Ayan, gusto na ba? Ayan, composite attribute. So, manonotice natin doon sa may address, nakalagay doon yung tawag doon, building, yung unit, yung floor, tapos merong phase 1, mga phase 2, ganun, village, street, city, municipality, hanggang sa zip code. Ayun. So, a good one, a good design of the address should be able to extract information from the address given the different tawag nun, parts or components of the address. Kaya lang minsan nakakalito kasi may mga cases na tawag nun, hindi mo nalalagyan ng entry yung isa, halimbawa yung wala namang city, okay? City or municipality, region or province. Pag nasa Manila, iba naman yung kanyang representation. So it should be thoroughly defined, okay? Na kapag meron kang fixed representation, hindi mo na i-allow si user na mag-input but simply to choose from the selection, okay? Tapos you should be able to consider like, paano pag wala siyang unit number, wala siyang floor, okay? Wala siyang building. So instead, street number na lang. Kasi may mga cases na sa probinsya, di ba? Walang house number. Street lang. Nagkakaalaman na yung mga tao. Ayun. So there are situations to be properly addressed with regard to the requirement of the attributes, followed by the derived attribute. Okay, the student number being our primary key, okay, is a derived attribute. Okay? Normally, this is considered as computer generated. Ayun. So, hindi siya pwedeng i-input manually. Okay? So, pag meron tayong birth date. Ayun. This is a simple attribute. Yung age is a derived attribute. Okay? So, hindi ini-input yung age. It is being computed as date to day minus your birth date divided by 365. So, it is flexible every time you open the record of a particular individual. Yun na yung derived attribute. Okay? And the last one is a multi-valued attribute. For example, you have a contact number. And in the form, you allow one or two contact numbers to be defined. So, pwede siya makonsider as multi-valued attribute. Okay? Pwede rin na meron ka, for example, children. Ayan. So, multi-valued din siya. So, you can have zero or several children. Okay? Halimbawa, meron kang requirement na seminar. Okay? So, multi-value din siya. Kasi you cannot dictate na kahit na nga 5 lang, multi-valued pa rin yung treatment niya. Yun yung maraming entries. Okay? So, mayroon tayong iba't ibang tawag nun, approaches when it comes to having the derived and the multi-valued attributes. So, in defining the attributes, meron tayong tinatawag na primary key. Okay, so as mentioned, yung student number natin is regarded as our primary key. Ayan. So on your end, yung number ninyo, for example, ay 2023-10-10-1, for example, -MN-0. There we go. So for each unique representation, kapag ito ay regarded natin as our primary key, okay, it should be unique, non-repeating, okay, cannot be duplicated, and not null. Hindi pwedeng maging empty yun. Yun yung rules ng primary key. And when you design your primary key, dapat may reasons yung mga requirements behind that one. For example, 2023 is the year of enrollment. Ito yung time kung kailan ka pumasok sa OU. Yung 10-10-1 na yun, this is the auto numbering. Okay? Ibig sabihin nun, pang 10,101 student ka na nag-enroll. MN represents Manila. Okay? The Manila branch of OU. At yung 0, actually, wala pa akong idea. So I have to ask Sir Jonah regarding the 0 in your student number. Okay? So I remember, nung nagkaroon ng presentation ng thesis, okay? So, ang requirement ng mga students ay meron silang item code. And they present initially this particular value. Okay? So, we know na kapag meron kang ganong number, matik na auto number yun. Yan. Yan. So, we ask, what is M? Kasi syempre, item yung pinag-usapan. So, most of the time, meron silang kanya-kanyang representation for each of the letter. Okay? Bakit M? Para saan yung M? Anong item ang nire-represent ni M? So, sabi ng mga bata, wala lang po. Okay? Naisip lang namin na M yung gamitin. So, it is not a good reason na basta ginamit nyo lang yung M for no particular reason. Kasi meron siyang implication sa database. Okay? So, the next question would be, after M001, okay, what is the maximum value that can be generated? So, sabi, M999. Ito yung pinaka-last value under M. Okay? So, after reaching M999, what is the next value? They answered N001. Okay? So, after all the series, what is the last possible value of the series? So, sabi nila is, say, 999. Okay? After say 999, what comes next? Okay? So sabi nila, the next value should be A dash 001. Ayan. So magkakaproblema tayo dito. Because again, you started with M001. So since na yung logic pala is to use all the letters in the alphabet, bakit hindi ka pa nag-start ng A001? Okay? So logical ano lang yung consideration. So wala naman palang ibig sabihin yung mga letters na yon. Why is it you started with M and not with A? Okay? Tapos, your last possible value is say dash 999. Okay, tapos bigla kang kumabig ng A001. Actually, hindi pinag-iisipan yung mga ganitong sagot tsaka yung mga ganitong tawag nun approaches. Kasi if your database or if your attribute is designed as X, okay, dash 999, it is expected ito lang yung format na susundan mo, the letter and the numbers. So it is impossible na ma-accommodate ng system yung A0001, okay, kapag na-saturate na yung lahat ng entries, lahat ng possibilities. So meaning mag-e-error na yung system mo. Kasi originally, ito lang yung format na given. Okay, sumobra na yung numeric representation mo. So hindi nagagana yung system. So ibig sabihin nun, it is bad thing for the organization kasi titirik na yung system. Mag-e-error na yung system. So hindi enough yun na sabihin nyo na, ay contact na lang po kami ng company kapag dumating yung time na ganito. Okay? So ibig sabihin, hindi nila naaral fully yung representation, proper representation ng item na yun. So dapat hindi mo i-hold hostage yung isang company because na hindi nyo properly naaral ito. Okay? So with your student number, flexible siya because every year, nagbabago yung first 4 digits. So next year, it will be 2026. Okay? And it will start with 00001. Ayan, flexible siya. So anticipated ng school na meron kayong population every year ng 99,999. Okay? Yun yung kanilang anticipation. At most. Okay? Maximum na yon. Sobrang dami na yon. Okay? To play safe, nagkaroon sila ng 5-digit dun sa second part ng student number. Okay? So yun po yung mga context na inaalam natin kapag meron tayong primary key. Yan. So when we have our primary keys, or before we proceed to that one, punta muna tayo ngayon sa paggawa natin ng ER diagram. So if we're going to research about the different ER diagram, dalawa yung common na ginagamit. Ito yung first one, tinatawag siyang Chen's notation. Chen, yung Chinese na surname, Chen. Okay? So ito yung tawag nun. Entity natin, yung naka-rectangle. Tapos yung oval, ito yung attributes na tinatawag. Okay? Kaya lang, with this representation, masyado siyang magastos sa space. Okay? At matrabaho. Okay? Matrabaho siya masyado. So pag piniprint natin yung documentation about this one, nagkakaroon ng problem kasi nga limited yung space ng paper kung saan nagre-reflect tayo ng entities natin together with their attributes and their relationship to other entities as well. Okay? So pag dumadami yung entities, hindi sila magkakasya sa isang papel, okay? At magkakaroon tayo ng multi-pages concerning this one. And yung problem natin, pati yung mga connections na na-establish between or among entities. So, in response to that particular challenge, ito na yung gagamitin natin, yung crow's-foot notation. Okay, so lipat tayo dito. This is an example of a crow's-foot notation. So for a crow's-foot notation, ito yung kanyang magiging requirement. So meron tayong cardinality na tinatawag. Cardinality, ibig sabihin nun, yung relationship na ini-establish natin between or among the different entities. So meron tayong 1:1, 1-to-1 relationship, 1-to-many, tsaka many-to-many. So ito yung kanyang representation. So ito yung entity natin. Okay? Rectangle po ito. So hinati lang. Rectangle, tapos meron tayo ditong 0 tsaka 1. 1 or 0 cardinality. So ibig sabihin nun, po pwedeng walang laman ito or po pwedeng strictly 1 lang. Okay? Either 0, walang laman, or isa lang. The other one is 1 and only 1. So double vertical line, ibig sabihin nun, strictly dapat merong isang nakalagay dyan na record. Okay? Isa lang ang pwede mong ilagay na record dyan. Hindi pa pwedeng blanco, hindi pa pwedeng madami. The third one is 0 or many. Pag sinabing 0 or many, pa pwedeng blanco, pa pwedeng isa, or pa pwedeng madami. Okay? Yan po yung ibig sabihin natin ng 0 or many. 1 or many means isa or marami. Pero hindi pwedeng maging blanco. Okay? Halimbawa, ito na yung pinapasok natin na tawag nun na contact number. Okay? At least meron tayong isang contact number. Pwedeng isa, pwedeng dalawa, pwedeng madami. Yung 0 or many, pwedeng walang anak, isang anak, or maraming anak. Okay? Yung 1 and only 1, for example, employee number. Okay? Pag pumasok ka sa company, bibigyan ka ng employee number. Isang employee number lang ang ibibigay sa'yo. At dapat meron ka nun. Okay? Yung 1 or 0 naman, pwede, ano ba yung example natin ng 1 or 0? Okay? Pwedeng meron kang middle name, pwedeng wala kang middle name. Okay? 1 or 0. Okay. So, going back to this representation, ayan. So, ibig sabihin nito, from playoff round hanggang hockey game, ay from playoff round papunta kay hockey game, dapat meron siyang isa or maraming hockey games. Okay? Tapos pagbalik natin kay playoff round, strictly isang record lang yung meron dito. Okay? Isang record compared with one or multiple records. Yun. Ito naman is pwedeng wala siyang account or meron siyang account. Isa lang. Okay? So commonly ito yung pag nagbi-visit tayo sa mga website, 'di ba? Bina-browse natin yung kanyang entries. So pwedeng hindi tayo i-require na mag-provide ng username tsaka password. Pero pag nag-avail na tayo ng services nila, that's the time hihingan na tayo ngayon ng username tsaka password. So pwedeng wala, pwedeng isa. Okay? And we can perform multiple transactions afterwards. Ayun. Yan. So when we produce now our ER diagram, okay, as you can see like on this example, ay meron tayong tinatawag na primary key. Okay, yung may nakalagay dito na asterisk primary key. Kaya lang, meron tayo ditong tawag ng question as to student ID tsaka student ID. Okay, dalawa yung primary key natin. Same thing with the course ID, course ID. Ayan, may course name din, tapos may term ID. May prof ID, tsaka term ID. So we'll just have to tweak yung magiging requirements natin. So ganito yung magiging representation natin. So given itong student, tsaka yung ID card na lang. Okay, student. Okay, student table. So meron tayo ditong student ID. Okay, so i-label na lang natin siya as PK for the primary key. So meron tayong F name, meron tayong L name. Okay, for example, meron tayong mobile number and say meron tayong address. There we go. So ito yung first table natin. Okay, so yung idea nito is yung student ID ay na-create nung nag-enroll yung student. Okay? So yung trigger niya ay upon enrollment, gagawa na ng student ID. That will be under the student entity. Okay? So therefore, yung student ID dito sa ID card, hindi siya na-create dahil sa ID card. Okay? Yung ID card na yon ay i-create lang after na makapag-enroll yung student. So therefore, our primary key student ID, nag-originate siya ngayon kay student at hindi kay ID card. Okay? If you get the idea. Na-create yung student ID upon the enrollment of the student. So therefore, yung primary key natin na student ID was created dito sa entity na student at hindi siya kay ID card. So on that case, yung ID card natin, ay hiniram lang niya yung student ID from the student entity. So therefore, magiging foreign key na siya ngayon. Hiniram lang niya yung student ID. Okay? Again, yung student ID was created upon the enrollment of the student. Hindi ginawa yung student ID dahil gagawa tayo ng ID card. Okay? Yung ID card na to ay gagawin ito kapag meron na tayong student. Okay? So parang tawag nun, resulting action yung ID card. Gagawa lang to, gagana lang to kapag meron ka ng student. So making our student ID as our foreign key. Okay? Galing siya ngayon kay student. So through this representation, meron na tayo ngayong understanding saan nagmula yung student ID. So hanapin lang natin yung label na PK or primary key. Okay? Doon siya nag-originate. So the relationship, kukapihin lang din natin yun. So ito, the relationship between the student and the ID card is strictly 1:1. Okay? So strictly isang student ay meron siyang strictly isang ID card lang. Bawal multiple ID cards sa isang student at bawal multiple ID card sa maraming students. Okay? So 1:1. Tapos yung ilalagay natin dito na verb ay, for example, has. So as you can see, palaging singular yung ating action word or verb between the two entities. Okay? Palaging singular yung kanyang representation. Takes, has, teaches. Okay? So bahala na kayo maghanap ng action word or verb that will connect one entity to the other. So there can be a possibility, okay? There can be a possibility na yung isang table natin or isang entity natin, okay, may have, okay, a primary key and a foreign key at the same time. Okay? Ibig sabihin nun, hiniram niya yung primary key dun sa ibang entities. Okay? Or it is also a possibility na yung isang table natin may contain multiple foreign keys. Okay? So, ibig sabihin nun, nanghiram siya ng primary key dun sa ibang tables. Hindi sa kanya nag-originate tong foreign key na to. Sa ibang table, sa ibang entity, nag-originate yung primary key. Okay? So, ginagawa lang to para magkaroon tayo ng connection between different entities. Okay? So, when we know, if we happen to know the student ID from the student entity and equal siya dito sa ID card, then that is referring to the same student kapag pareho yung value. Okay? So, for connection purposes lang to, yung ini-establish nating primary key tsaka foreign key. Okay? Para ma-connect natin yung one entity or one table to another table. Yung name na to is a derived attribute kasi pinagsamang first name tsaka last name para maging name sa ID card. Okay? So yun na naman yung idea behind that one. Ayan. For example, nakalagay dito, date issued. Pwede tayong magdagdag. This is a separate one. Okay? So may questions ba tayo? Baka po may questions or clarifications. You are free to ask questions. Okay? So with regard to your activity pertaining to our topic today, okay, so you might ask, Sir, paano yun? Wala akong software or program to prepare the diagram, the ER diagram. Ayun. So gagawin nyo lang is that isusulat nyo sa papel yung ER diagram ninyo, picturean, at i-upload doon sa link na ibibigay ko later. Okay? So, para walang excuse na hindi kayo makakagawa. Okay? Tapos yung mga requirements ng ER diagram ninyo will be based doon sa personal experience ninyo. For example, sa everyday galawan ninyo, everyday affairs, or sa work ninyo. Okay? So you can put up those requirements based on your personal experiences. So hindi ako magbibigay ng situations na wala kayong alam or hindi nyo pa na-experience. Okay? Ayun. Clarifications po or follow-up questions about our topic? Sige lang po, you can open your mic. You can ask questions right away. Wala, tahimik po tayo. Sige. So, pwede naman magtanong afterwards kapag nag-sink in na yung requirements natin. So, I will be sharing the notes, the lecture, and your activity after our class. Yes, Miss Borja.
Actually, sir, meron. Ano po ba yung gagawin namin? Yung kung sinare yung diagram kanina na may mga square
Ah,
circle, ganun po ba, sir?
Magbibigay po ako ng direction about the diagram na gagawin ninyo. Pero yung magiging itsura ng diagram ninyo, okay? Or like this one, 'di ba, meron tayong student na tawag nun entity. Okay? So yung entities na ibibigay ninyo ay based doon sa experience ninyo. Okay? Halimbawa, sa loob ng bahay, ano yung mga entities na pwede nyong i-consider, okay? At ano yung connection niya from one entity to another entity. So lahat dapat na-connect niyo siya sa different entities na binabanggit ninyo. Dapat lahat ng babanggitin yung entities ay kaya niyong i-connect dun sa iba't ibang entities na ire-require. Okay? Or sa work ninyo, so ano yung mga different entities na pwede nyong i-mention, okay? And what will be the connection of that entity to another entity. So pwede po yung isang entity natin ay magkakaroon ng multiple connections. So halimbawa, this one, yung student natin, pwede po nating i-connect, okay? Yung student na to, for example, dito, okay? Ayun. Or pwede rin natin siyang ma-connect dito. Ayun. Pwede po yung ganun. Okay? So wala pong lilitaw na isang entity. Okay? Halimbawa, meron tayo ditong entity. Wala pong entity na lilitaw na walang connection. Bawal po yun. Okay? So bahala na po kayo mag-establish ng connection. Dapat valid yung connection from one entity to another entity. So wala po tayong island entity or yung nagsusulong entity. Okay po? Okay, sige. So in case na mayroon man kayong additional questions as you work with your activity, pwede naman po mag-message sa GC natin. Okay? So pag wala na pong questions, we'll call it a day. So thank you everyone. I'll see you next time around. So wala po muna tayong prelim exam. Yung exam ninyo sa finals na po. Midterm pala, sorry. Yan, sa finals na po yung exam natin. Okay? So thank you and good afternoon. I'll see you next time around.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Salamat po.
Salamat po.
Sir,